This is part 4 of the chapter Human Eye of Standard 10 Science. So, continuing the different defects of the human eye, we come to the fourth one called cataract. So, what exactly is a cataract? Cataract means just the formation of a cloud of dust. So, it is also called as clouding of the lens due to growth of a thin membrane over the lens. Now, generally it occurs for older people above the age of 60-65, and it can cause partial or in some cases complete loss of vision. There is another reason for cataract, and that is due to diabetes. If a person becomes highly diabetic, the first thing is increase in blood sugar level. The second is it gradually leads to blindness. So, how can cataract be corrected? So, a surgery is done. Initially surgery was taking say around 1 to 2 hours, but now with laser techniques it can be hardly done in 10 to 15 minutes. So, whatever the extra growth is removed carefully by expert ophthalmologists or doctors who use lasers to just take out the dust or the membrane, thin membrane. What are the symptoms of cataracts? Is blurry vision and trouble especially seeing at night. Sometimes it's double vision also, and they can even see colors in a faded version. So, we can just see how a normal eye and how an object look like. A pupil, iris and a clear image is seen. Whereas, if you see an eye with a cataract, you will find that this part, this image is blurry image. So, this is due to the presence of a thin layer of membrane. So, this is a clouded lens which is shown very clearly in this diagram. Please see this clouded lens, then that is removed and an intraocular lens is implanted in that place. That is an artificial lens, but then it restores the vision. So, this is what is called a cataract. So, the fifth one which we will be seeing is called night blindness. Night blindness is the inability of the person to see clearly in night or in dim light or in poor light. Now, what are the causes of night blindness? The causes of night blindness is deficiency of vitamin A in food. Vitamin A is directly related to vision, and the second is improper functioning of the rods and cells. If the number of rods are directly related, when we see rods and cones, we have found that rods are directly related to the visibility in dim light. So, if the number of 120 million rods should be there, if the number is deficient, we will find that that person is finding little difficulty in seeing the things. Now, what can it be done? So, for some extent it can be corrected by taking proper vitamin A to improve this. Carrots, egg, milk. Now, it will slowly can improve up to a certain extent. The next is using anti-reflective glasses at night. What happens when bright light shines on your eyes, you get blanked out. So, anti-reflective glasses will not allow the sharp light to enter your eyes, and it will dull the light, and this can sharpen the vision at night. So, this is called as night blindness. So, there is a nice this thing here. What is night blindness? It is called as nyctalpia. It is the inability to see well at night or in poor light. So, it is not a disorder, but ultimately it generally results from untreated myopia or nearsightedness. So, what causes? So, there are a number of causes for night blindness. So, first is myopia, next is glaucoma medications, next is cataracts also leads to night blindness, then is pigmentosa. It is one a type of deficiency in the pigment, and vitamin A deficiency. So, what are the precautions, or what can night blindness be treated? So, treatment will be as simple as getting a new eyeglass because maybe your eyesight is nothing, or switching to medications, or in some cases night blindness can be treated if cataract is removed. So, these are the different things in which this thing. So, the next one is color blindness. So, this is the sixth one. color blindness. So, what is color blindness? So, it is the inability to differentiate certain colors. Now, not all people are colorblind, but many of them are colorblind. So, colorblind test, it is a very important, especially for drivers, for all these servicemen, all the 3 services, armed forces, for police, for all these things, your color blindness should absolutely not be there. So, the people who are suffering from color blindness, they cannot differentiate it between red and green, blue and yellow colors. So, there are 3 different types of color blindnesses. What we are more interested in, what is the reason? So, the reason is the absence of cone cells. So, for night blindness it was rods, for color blindness it is cones. So, cones, there are around 6 million cones, they are directly related to the perception of colors. But if your cones are less in number, then you will generally be color blind. And other one is genetic disorder. Now, till now there is no which we say this thing treatment as such for color blindness. So, color blindness means you have trouble in seeing green, red or blue color or a mix of these colors. Now, it is rare that a person sees no color at all, but humans always see colors, but they may be different these things. So, color blindness is also called as color vision blindness. It can change your life. It is very important because color blind people are very dangerous when they are driving, because they cannot differentiate the signals and they may take it on the. So, here you can see, and this is a very nice this is a normal color vision. Now, if you can see, this is the normal color vision. Here you can see how a green blinded nights, how he cannot see green perfectly. Then a blue one, blue blind means if you can see the blue color has automatically vanished in the same picture, and if it's red one, you can see the red part is vanished. So, all these things are related to color blindness. So, there is actually as such no treatment till now for color blindness. Now, the next one which we will be doing is called astigmatism. Astigmatism. What is this astigmatism? It is the problem caused by distorted images. So, how distorted images? So, the light rays are prevented from meeting at a common point. So, generally we see one figure. If our eyes are sharp, if our eyes are normal, you can see one figure because the rays meet at a point. But if the rays are not meeting at a point, you will have a blurred vision, you will have double vision, you will have difficulty in focusing, you will not get a focused image. So, astigmatism is the inability of the eye to see objects in focus correctly. So, it can be corrected by glasses, by contact lenses or laser eye surgery, plastic surgery, it can be done. Now, what are the other things? So, is there anything related to astigmatism? Yeah, so it is given here. It occurs when your cornea or a lens is more steeply curved, and it can be present from birth, and some may develop as an eye injury or a disease of a surgery. So, it is not caused by any other things like reading in poor light, sitting on. So, this is what is astigmatism is shown. So, this is astigmatism. So, if you can see here, this is a blurred image of E. This is a person who is suffering from it, whereas if you see a normal eye, it is a very sharp image. So, this is what is called as astigmatism. Okay. So, then we come to something called as contact lenses. So, these are the latest ones which are used. So, what are contact lenses? They are soft lenses which are used in place of spectacles and they come in contact with the eyes. They are costly, but they are very soft and they are very effective. And they allow more oxygen to read than the to reach the hard lenses. So, the vision is clear. The only difficulty is it has to be handled with extreme care because they are very soft, very tiny, very sensitive. Second is they are prone to infections. If you are not cleaning the lenses, if you are not putting it in the right way, if you are using dirty hands, your eyes can get infected. That is the only difficulty. Otherwise, it is very nice. So, we should know something about eye donations. What is an eye donation? It is a great we can say dedication to mankind. a person can donate his eyes after his death to 2 people. So this is a voluntary scheme, and many great people have done it as a part of charity. That is the biggest gift you can give to mankind. So what happens, you donate your eyes after the death. Only the corneal blind people can be benefited in this process. What happens is, the eyes from one dead person, they are not given to one single person, but they are given it to 2 blind people. So at least with one eye, that blind people, so blind people are so, I mean, we can say unlucky, they cannot see the things. So we should be very sympathetic to them. So what happens, if a person dies and if he donates his 2 eyes to 2 different people, at least 2 people can have a eyesight. So cornea is the only plant is to be transplanted, and within 6 to 12 hours it has to be removed when the person is dead. It does not disfigure your face. There are some myths about it. It does not disfigure, it does not do anything, and it takes only 15 to 20 minutes for an expert to just remove the cornea from the dead person. So these were all the different eye defects. Now we come to something physics. So what is this refraction of light to a prism? So what is a prism? So if you see this part, this is a prism, this part is a prism. So it has 3 plane surfaces and 2 triangular surfaces and 3 rectangular surfaces, which are inclined towards each other at a fixed angle, and that fixed angle is called the refracting angle, or the angle of the prism. So since it is made of glass, it is a very nice way to study refraction or the bending of light. So what is the meaning of refraction? We had done in that light refraction, that lesson. Refraction means the bending of the light due to change in medium, and because of the change in medium, the speed of light changes, and when the speed of light changes, it changes some direction also. So that is called refraction. So it is a very good way. Now refraction, if you take a, this is only a 2D figure. If you take a refraction of light to study this, if a beam, we should be seeing this. Remember, this is an incident beam. Incident beam or the incident ray should go straight, but what happens when it strikes? Now this is generally air, which is a rarer medium, and this is generally, this is glass, this is a denser medium. So we have learned, when it goes from a rarer medium to a denser medium, it bends towards the normal. So this is the normal. If this is the normal, it is bending towards the normal. Once it bends inside, it is moving straight line, because that is the nature of the light ray. Inside is glass medium, so it travels in a straight line. But then what happens when it strikes the other interface? Now here, this is the dense medium, the glass, and when it is coming out, it is the rare medium. So we have studied, when light travels from a dense to a rare medium, it bends away from the normal. So if this is the normal, it is bending away. This is the normal, it is bending away. So ultimately what we see, we can see different beams. So this first one is called the incident ray or the incident beam. This is called the refracted beam, and which comes out finally is called the emergent ray or the emergent beams. Now this is the angle of incidence first time. This is the angle of the prism, that is generally 60, and this is the angle of emergence. Final angle of emergence is this. Now in totality, if you see, if the incident beam is coming like this and coming out like this, this is called the angle of deviation. This is the angle of deviation. So this is what we should be knowing. This diagram is important, and we should be knowing incident ray, angle of incidence, angle of refraction, the refracted ray when it comes out, angle of emergence and the emergent ray, and in totality the angle of deviation. This is the total. When it goes out, when it comes out, there is definitely an angle. So there are some points related to this. So what are those points? So first is called as dispersion of light. Now this is a phenomenon in which white sunlight, when it passes through prism, glass prism, it will disintegrate or give away or separate into its 7 colors. So that acronym is called as VIBGYOR: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Now this is the color pattern, and this color pattern is called the spectrum. Now why does it disintegrate? Because There are white light consists of 7 colors. Each color has its own wavelength and its own speed. So when it enters glass, the speeds change. Now when the speeds change, it comes out in different spectrum. So this we can see in this diagram. It's a very clear diagram. Dispersion of light into its constituent colors. So if you can see, these are the 7 colors. This is the incident rate, and the prism will give form to, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So this is Vibgyor, that is this color. Now this is the first thing. Now the second thing is, Sir Isaac Newton, he did another thing. What he did is, he passed the same white light. First he passed white light to the first prism. It disintegrated into its 7 colors, or it separated into its 7 colors. Now again he put a reverse prism just next to it. So the spread out color, the spectrum of colors, they entered the beam and ultimately they came out as white light. So this phenomenon is called recombination of spectrum of white light. This was first performed by Newton, and it was a very great experiment. So when a white beam of light is passed through a glass prism, it splits into its component colors. When these colors are allowed to fall in an inverted glass prism, it recombines to find a white light. So this was a very important lesson, experiment done by Sir Isaac Newton. So we have studied defects, and this is the last part which I wanted to tell you. These are contact lenses. You see, these are the normal lenses, whereas this small piece is called contact lenses. They are little costly, little sensitive, they are good, but they are also prone to infections. So all these things are there in different defects and refraction of light. Thank you.